This is Gress, G-R-E-S, how you spell it. You guys are doing well. And hope you guys could subscribe if you're new here. Leave me a thumbs up as well. It shows me that you care. I'm filming this video September 10th, 2020. One day shy of One day shy of 9/11. The anniversary of 9/11. Jeez, how many years already? "19 years. You know, it's a moment in time that everyone knows where they were. A moment that I guess you could say has stayed still. No, I remember where I was, and I was relatively close to the towers. Just gonna share with you where I was. I was going as you're looking, by the way, over there in that area, straight ahead where I'm zooming in, that's JFK. But I was going to St. Francis College, which is in Brooklyn Heights. If you go down, I believe I was right near the Brooklyn Bridge. Definitely walkable. So the Brooklyn Bridge was, which is also close to the Twin Towers. So just to give you a general idea, I was, close to the Brooklyn Bridge. My school was located in Brooklyn, and I remember the day. It was a very clear day, very clear, and I want to say it was brisk, very brisk day, cool day, very nice day, cool day, sunny, not a cloud in the sky. And me personally, I usually, I have the option. I would usually drive to school. Sometimes I wouldn't. Sometimes I take the subway. With there, parking was always a So it was a nightmare. So sometimes I would, sometimes I drive, sometimes I take the train. More often than not, I took the train. So I take the train. It's a Tuesday, I remember. The train, which is the A train, drops me off, very close. Close enough. It's about a 3-block walk. 3-block walk. And I remember at that point, because it was a Tuesday-Thursday class. It was a Tuesday-Thursday schedule. And it was definitely past 8:15. That I do know. Because the class started at like, I want to say 8:45. So it was around that 8:15 mark that started walking from the train station to the school. And we're crossing that main street. I believe it's Center Street, I believe. I want to say Center Street. Where you're able to, when you're crossing the street, when it was, for me, it was looking to the right, you're able to see the Brooklyn Bridge. And it was in the general vicinity of where Trade Center was. I remember looking there, and it seemed a little odd. Like, I remember seeing smoke, but no one really thought, it just seemed like it just started, and no one really, we were all walking by, a bunch of us commuters and people going to school. We're all crossing the street. We're looking in that direction, and no one really was saying anything to each other. We really didn't think anything of it. So, the school, the walk to school from the train station, 5 minutes. So, I see that general vicinity, Brooklyn Bridge, see smoke, but we didn't know. I didn't know it was one of the towers. Remember, cell phones back then it was all really text messages. 2001, not many even people had cell phones back in 2001, to be honest with you. So it was very, information traveling took a little bit longer than it does now. Or right now you can get information with, a tweet or whatever it is, a blog, very instantly. And I was under the subway, under the train. The train was below ground, and knew nothing of it. Come up by the school. That schedule was a Tuesday, Thursday, so it's common where a lot of people would work their schedule around where they would have off Tuesday and Thursday and just be going to school Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So, on Tuesday when I'm in front of the school as I'm about ready to go to school, St. Francis College, by the way, there is just really no one there. And I didn't think that was uncommon, again, because a lot of people do not they didn't have school on Tuesday and Thursday. It was just Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. It wasn't an uncommon thing. Think nothing of it. Seemed a little bit less packed than usual, but continued to go along with my day. And the class that I had was actually an elective. It was, believe it or not, it was the religion of Islam. Just knowing about religions, because it's kind of what I was always curious about, religions and different cultures. And I think that's, if you're going to school, college, that's something you should strive upon, learning as much as you could possibly learn. But anyway, the class was, as you could see the train coming by, the class going to the airport. The class was held in the basement, the deep basement of the library. Reason why it was held in the library is because there was, the school was undergoing construction. So certain classes had to go certain places and be moved around. They weren't in the main building. The school was an old building. It was in an old building, and they were expanding as more admissions were coming through. So we're having a class in the basement, the library basement. And again, you have to keep in mind that cell phones were really just weren't that common. There weren't that many towers, blah, 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 blah. So the reception in the basement was nil. None. Well, at least where I was. So you couldn't hear anything. And the class, to begin with, it's an elective, relatively small class. But when I say small class, maybe 8 people. The teacher is late. This is an hour and a Tuesday, Thursday schedule. The classes are late. They're longer, about an hour and a half each. He's late. The teacher is late. A good amount of time. Pretty late. Talking maybe at least half an hour. And a lot of the kids still stayed. A lot of them left. I stayed. Comes in half an hour late. But he didn't say anything that was out of the ordinary. Just continued with his class. And class finished. And at this point now, it's probably I want to say 10:15, 10:30. So we just come out, I come out of the class, go to my locker. Again, there was like no one. It seems like there's no one in the building at all. Like I'm going through first floor, second floor, third floor. Lockers on the fourth floor. No one around. Exit, leave the building. Very few people are left. The ones that are left, outside of the school building, the ones that are there are trying to make phone calls. Trying to make phone calls to relatives. They're not having much luck at that point. Cell phone towers are gone. And again, it's very primitive with the cell phones back in those days. And little to nothing. And, I'm conversing and find out that that the towers have gone down. First thing that comes to mind is my father. He didn't work in the trade center, but he worked around that area. Worked on I believe it was Barclay Street, which was a couple blocks away from the trade center. We do come to find out that that building actually sustained some damage after shock, just by the collapsing of the trade center's building was affected in some way. Minor damage. My father actually tells me that while he was there, in this building, he's seen people just jumping out their workplace, their windows from the trade center, because he was high up on the floors. People were jumping to their deaths. Very sad. This building was underwent extensive repairs, but that would be the last time that he would work in the city, as the company relocated kind of that department into New Jersey. But by the way, my father actually, he would not return home that night. The company actually decided to to have everyone be in a hotel, and they paid for it. I believe he was there for like a day or two. It was just a real, no one knew what to do. I mean, who could prepare for a situation like you had back then? So, I was at school, and, I was at school, and I come out of school, and, I come to find out that's when the trade centers have fallen. And we were trying to figure out what to do next. We were trying to make phone calls, trying to see if everyone was all right. But again, their cell phone reception was no quality back then. We found out somehow, maybe there was a call that was somehow there was chirping, or someone said that, listen, that the trains are no longer working, that they were halted. So we had decided to, when I say we, a bunch of us that kind of just so happened to live in the same area, that we would try to take a bus. So, in buses in New York City, Brooklyn, they're readily available. You don't have to worry about that being a issue. So we start walking, and we have to cross again. We have to cross again that main street, I believe it's Center Street, to walk back home. So again, remember, that's the street that I was able to see Brooklyn Bridge, and now I completely see people walking from the bridge, walking on Center Street. It was already crowded on Center Street, so people were walking from the Trade Center over to Brooklyn Bridge and then walking home. It seemed like, or just making sure they were anywhere but in that area. So you already see smoke, people just walking over that bridge. The bridge was packed. There was, on the bridge, it was just with people walking, that there were no cars that I could see driving over the bridge. It was just all pedestrians walking from Manhattan into Brooklyn. And the smoke, you can see the smoke now, really, it's heavy black. Like, I didn't, maybe I just was glancing at it, or somehow when I had just left the train and going to school, I didn't notice it being heavy or anything where it would be alarming. It was, but not where you would think a catastrophe like that had happened. You thought that maybe a building was burning, not that planes would be going into a building. But we're waiting for the bus, and the buses are full. 1 bus full, 2 bus full, 3 bus full, 4, 5, 6, couple of buses. They're all full, and it's taking some time. They're just flying by, but they're all full. Eventually we realized, just based on the magnitude and severity of what was happening, that we ain't catching a bus anytime soon. So we decided to walk from Brooklyn Heights, where St. Francis College was, to my home. Was roughly, I don't know, roughly 10 miles. We walked that, and we're walking down Atlantic Avenue, which would be the main route to travel to get to where we needed to go. And every once in a while, there would be people at that point just looking in awe of, like, standing outside of businesses, business owners, having the radio on or TV on, and the people that were walking by, the pedestrians would stop and listen, congregate and listen, be surrounding the radio and listening as to what is happening. And then you will walk a little bit further, and then you would stop to listen again to see what was happening. You know, that 10-mile walk, I'm not sure how long it was. It was about, if we had left, I was probably home by like 3, 4, maybe 5. I don't remember the exact time, but I do remember my mom, who wasn't working at the time, still just waiting to hear from my father. My father was finally able to get through somehow. Just state where he was. I remember the aftermath of right here in the city. You know, after this had happened, on the streets, you know, just walking around, everyone was friendly. Everyone was nice to each other. There were no people honking, which if you live in New York, the New York City area, that's uncommon. No people honking. People were friendly. People smiled. People said hi to each other. And well, after a while, that that all changed, and people went back to being how they normally were. It changed some people. Others, you know, stayed the same. But you know, it's something where you definitely knew where you were and what you were doing when time stood still. At least for me, being close to 40, there's no other event really that you could say that has come close to that in my lifetime. Now, I don't remember exactly. I know that school was canceled. I believe, I want to say that it was canceled for the rest of September. I'm not too certain on that. Not too certain on that. And that's just my story as to what where I was some 19 years ago. I remember shortly thereafter, in about 2006, 7. I'll be working on Maiden Lane, which was not too far from where the Trade Center was. Not too far at all. And the city even then was still, I don't want to say, because it was empty. but it seemed like it was recuperating. You had people working, people coming back into the downtown area. They were working. They weren't scared. But you know, how time quickly goes by. And you would see images and everything circulating for many years to come. Never before seen photos, you know, pictures and taken from various angles, videos, calls that were made from those planes. Let's just never forget.